I was working for different Greek news media, and I was also working for a radio, BBC, but in the Greek language.
Okay.
The 6 principles of
Okay.
Pilates. So first principle has to do with our core, or what we call our powerhouse.
Yeah.
So we need, with exercises such as the 100 or the magic 5, we want to strengthen our abdominals.
Welcome to this new episode from Pai, Northern Thailand. And today I'm here with Marina. How are you, Marina?
I'm fine, thank you, Lucas.
Very nice. So Marina is a Pilates teacher, as well as having a very interesting background as a journalist. So first of all, I'd like to ask you, Marina, what is your story in life?
As a child, I was always finding journalism a very charming job and interesting. And I was very romantic, I think, thinking that with journalism you can help people to get the proper information and to be well informed and everything. So I studied politics in Greece and then in England, and I ended up in journalism. I started with journalism while being in the Balkans. My first post was in Albania, and then Kosovo and the country that is now called North Macedonia. 10 years of my life in these countries I spent.
Okay. So these are sort of countries that have a very specific history. And were you there during the war?
I was during the war, actually during the NATO bombardings of Serbia, when there was a huge flow of Kosovo Albanian refugees to North Macedonia. But we had the feeling of next door, there is a war next door. And then it followed immediately after 1 year, it followed this war between Albanians and Macedonians within the state of Northern Macedonia. So it was some kind of civil war, although there was Albanians and the Slavophone Macedonians.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were reporting for a Greek newspaper, is that right? So talking to different sources and being based in that kind of area, so it might have been such a interesting experience in a way.
Yes, it was interesting. It was hard, very interesting, because it gave me also the feeling of what does it mean to come from a Balkan country. Greece is a European country, is Mediterranean, but it's also a Balkan country.
Okay.
So I got a deeper knowledge of the Balkan history and how many things we have in common. What made things easier was that I was with my partner. We were together, both being journalists, and we also had a child that up to the age of 5 years old, he also lived and stayed with us in the Balkans, was traveling with us. Yeah.
Wow.
It was really a very interesting period of the history of the Balkans. I hope that the war is far away now. I'm not that sure, because the issue of Kosovo is not very clear yet. Let's hope, yeah. Okay, it's a pity also that Yugoslavia was a perfect functioning state. It's a pity that this fall apart and they made all these small states, but
that's what it is, right?
yes. You asked me also about for whom I was working. I was working for different Greek news media, and I was also working for a radio, BBC, but in the Greek language.
Okay, so a long time spent as a journalist and reporting on the news, and then I mean, what's your transformation into Pilates?
Yes, after the 10 years that I spent in the Balkans, I returned to Greece and I continued with journalism, but in a different environment. So for 3 years, I was covering parliament sessions. And then I was in a kind of politics, but lighter politics, like issues with the refugees, with migrants, with racism, the activity of political parties, and this. What made this transformation is that I came to a point that I said, oh my God, I'm fed up of covering all the time what is bad, you know? If it is a war, or if it's a quarrel in the parliament, or it's a refugee conflict with racist groups in Greece, but it was all the time as if journalism is always the bad side of the story. I was really feeling in my body, actually. I felt that my eyes, I was having the feeling of being tired in the eyes from what I was observing and transmitting. So yeah, at that moment, I decided to change, to make a complete change in my life.
Okay, yeah, there is what they call the negative bias of the media, so to speak. Yeah, always trying to portray the world as a dangerous place, to divide. I suppose that's the way to sell newspapers, but also there's narratives that maybe suit certain people versus others. I understand why. I mean, you wanted something which was more 100% good, I suppose. Yes. And,
yes.
So the Pilates came
to help people in a different way, yes. Actually, in a more positive way. And it came at a moment that I didn't even expect it. I was in England with my son, who was at that time 16 years of age, and he was attending a college. And I got a really bad low back pain, which was lasting. And I went to the doctors. I had all this X-ray, and there was nothing proved serious. But the doctor recommended me. She said, "I think you have to start Pilates." So this was the.
That was the turning point.
Exactly. Because immediately I felt from the first session, I felt such a relief on my low back pain. So I continued, and when I returned back to Greece, I decided to study Pilates and to help other people. And so even here now, I worked some years in Greece, and now here in Pi, I am giving these days a seminar on how to relieve your low back pain through Pilates exercises. Yeah, there are some tricks.
Oh, I'm sure. So that's lovely indeed. And but tell us a little bit more. What is Pilates actually? Because of course I'm a yoga teacher. I'm familiar with the yoga system, and Pilates is a different modality.
Yes, most people speak about Pilates and they don't even know that there was a man, Joseph Pilates, who invented this system. Yes. So Joseph Pilates was born by the end of 19th century in Germany. Okay. He was a very weak and sick boy, but he managed during his teenage years to build his body and strengthen and everything by studying different things like classical gymnastic, but also yoga and martial arts and these things. And then he was a prisoner of war during First World War in Britain. And there he started helping his co-prisoners who had serious injuries and problems with their body with his exercises. So he started practicing his exercises. He returned to Germany. He was smart enough to understand that Germany was not going to a nice path. Yes, and so he left before Second World War and moved to United States. Okay. And there was a crucial meeting with Martha Graham, the famous dancer teacher in United States. And he started working with her to help recover her dancers from serious injuries, because ballet is a very demanding form of exercise and a lot of them get injured, and so he was helping with his system that he really developed to a perfection. Yeah.
Sounds very good. And I know that there are sort of two popular types of Pilates. One is more like on the mat, and the other one instead is with the help of machines. What is the difference between the two?
Yes, the difference is that the machines are needed only from people who have serious problems, either from injuries or from the structure of the body, or long-term problems like serious scoliosis, serious kyphosis. So it's for them, the machine. For the others, to keep a good mobility of your body, to have a good abdominal and low back muscles, just Pilates mat and with small equipment like the elastic band, like a small ball or big ball, light weights, is perfect. You don't need the machines.
That's very good. So the machine is more like a form of physiotherapy, if you want, from injury. And also some people say that Pilates is particularly geared towards like older people, but it's not true. What do you think? Do you work with older people mostly, or?
Yes, I work mostly with old people, because there is this impression that Pilates is mainly for old people, because it's not dynamic in the way that other forms are, like aerobics or other forms of yoga. Is more soft. But still, I believe if someone needs to have a good mobilization of his body, good joints, good muscles, then Pilates is perfect. Yeah.
Very wonderful indeed. And I mean, what are the main characteristics of Pilates? I mean, of course, just by looking at your class earlier today, I see different kind of movements, different exercises. There are some sort of principles or laws of Pilates?
Yes, there are, we call them principles, the 6 principles of Pilates. So first principle has to do with our core, or what we call our powerhouse. Yeah. So we need, with exercises such as the 100 or the Magic 5, we want to strengthen our abdominals and the low back muscles. So this is one principle. The main thing is to strengthen our core, because it's the core of our body. If this is strong, it keeps the rest of the body healthy. Yes, and then is the breathing. The breathing is very important. It's not the same breathing as it is with yoga. So we breathe in and we bring the air up to our lungs. We open here the chest, and then when we breathe out, it's like blowing a candle with the mouth. Like this. So with every exercise, I keep telling to my students, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. They must remember this. And also usually you put the hard part of the exercise with breathe out. But if someone wants to challenge himself, he can put the breathe in, which is easier, can put the breathing with the hard part of the exercise. It's a challenge that one can do. Yeah.
Okay.
And then third, second is breathing. Third is the precision. It's very important to try and do the exercise with precision. So it's different to be our hand in a line, shoulder and palm in one line, and it's different if it's here or if it's there. So it's important in every exercise we do to keep precision. Also, it's good to have concentration, not think of, what did Lucas tell me before? What did he mean? Yes, no, we are concentrated on what we're doing. Fifth principle is control. We are in full control of our body and mind, all this breathing also. And the sixth is the flow. So there is a flow from one exercise to the other through breathing, even when we finished a set of exercises, like we say 10 times we do the 100, and then we take 2 deep breaths and we continue to the next exercise. So there is a real flow.
Yes, so the whole class is not like going to the gym where you do an exercise and you wander off and do the next. It's a continuum from the beginning to the end, like a whole exercise for an hour. Usually, how long do you hold?
It is 1 hour, and the last 10 minutes we're doing exercises for neck, shoulders, head. Also, we call them relaxing exercises. Yes.
That is wonderful indeed. And so it was useful for you. And then now you are holding space in Pi. In the place is called. Can you mention the name of the place?
where I do the Pilates is the Performance.
Okay, Performance. That's very lovely. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Marina, that's very interesting, and thanks for explaining, a new modality, because, I didn't know much about Pilates, and it's, of course, it's a popular modality, and now we have it on the channel as well. And I would like to ask you now, I mean, there are many places in the world that, a sophisticated international person like yourself could go to, right? Why did you choose Thailand and Pai in particular?
Yes, I had heard first time about Pai 12 years ago. I was in Chiang Mai attending a seminar on Thai yoga massage, especially how to help with neck problems.
Okay.
And there I heard about Pai, and everybody was telling me, oh, you have to go to Pai, you have to go to Pai. So from then past 12 years, and it came the time for me to come here. I had heard of this about an international community being there that have more or less some principles and way of life that I like and I would enjoy, and it will be easy to meet them and be with them. So yes, that's how I came. I didn't know anyone particularly here before, but I am now almost 1.5 months. And I feel adjusted. I've already booked my ticket for next year. I already booked it for next October to come back to Pai.
That is lovely. So your lifestyle is pretty good because, of course, you're going to be in Thailand in Pai for part of the year. And what do you do with the rest of the year?
Yeah, so part of the year, the difficult months, which are in Europe, cold months, and with all these problems, now with the war in Ukraine and the energy crisis and everything and that. So I spend it here, and then by May I return back to Greece. I have a summer house by the sea, and also I like traveling in the islands, in Greek islands, in the tiny ones, the ones that foreigners don't know. So
wow, the secrets of Greek islands, very nice.
Yes.
Yes, and I really hope that you'll come and visit our beautiful island of Koh Phangan. Of course, the community in Pai is smaller and somewhat more senior. I mean, I met lots of older teachers here that have like 20, 30, 40 years experience, which is really wonderful. Koh Phangan, you have, senior teachers, of course, but also is a laboratory for creativity. And, in the new age space, pretty much anybody can just hold space and come up with new modalities. It's very exciting, I really love it. And it's not a Greek island, it's a Thai island. So you're planning to come and visit at some point?
Yes, next year for sure I will. I promise.
Okay. Well, Marina, thank you very much for your time. And yes, hopefully see you in Koh Phangan. Kapung kap.
Kapung kap.